Alright, quick little vlog, checking to see, yeah, I'm on camera. Quick little vlog number 30. That is a milestone. That means I've been recording vlogs for a little over a month now, which feels pretty good. I feel like that's an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment to have recorded any number of vlogs and post them, but number 30 is a big deal. And as you can tell, probably from the windshield here, or that's actually the side window, the driver's side window here, it's raining out. We were predicted initially for like 1 to 2 inches of snow, then that got upgraded to 2 to 4, and then 4 to 8. And it's since been downgraded to, I think around 4 inches that we were supposed to get, with a bunch of freezing rain on top of it. And I think I've talked pretty often about how much I dislike being cold, but I also dislike having wet feet. And since I don't have waterproof boots, they arrive from Bezos's sweatshops tomorrow, and so I won't have waterproof boots until tomorrow after work. And so I am not walking today because I don't want to be both wet and cold, have wet feet and cold feet. That's just not fun. So what I am going to do, also my gel saddle cover is arriving from Bezos's sweatshops tomorrow with the shoes, probably in a separate package because God forbid it's actually in one package. I did request for minimal packaging, but that just gets so many boxes when I do order from Amazon. Anyway, alright, so in today's vlog, I wanted to talk about motivation and the motivating things that have gotten me to change my diet and to begin moving and driven me to become more healthy. There are 3 things that have pushed me towards this, and I'm going to talk about those. So, the first one is expense. Every time I go to CVS, it's really expensive. I have to put the full amount of money on my flex spending account every year, and that's over $3,000 that we're spending on health-related things. Not all of it is mine. But it's expensive. It's a very expensive thing. And my medication is not covered. Well, one of the medications is not covered by my health insurance. Three of the medications only cost around $10 a month each. And when I get them on the 90-day supply, they're cheaper. But the one that has made the largest difference in my life and has actually improved my quality of life a great deal is not covered by my insurance. And so there's some sort of state thing. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it takes the cost of that medication from $75 down to $25, which is still expensive. I'm spending $25 every month for something that my health insurance could actually cover. But that's not what this is about. So the cost of my medications is a big factor in my wanting to feel better and change my diet and all of that. So that cost thing is big. It's also, so when I look at the cost of my protein shakes, when you look at the cost of one of those tubs, it's between $20 and $30, but you're getting, many days worth of breakfasts out of that. I'm trying to remember how many servings. I think there are like 20 servings in one of those tubs. 18 to 20, something along those lines. So, I'm spending $20, but I'm getting 20 breakfasts out of that. So I'm saving money by having the protein shake, and not stopping and spending $6 at McDonald's or $10 at the local place. So I'm saving money that way too. So price, the cost of things, the cost of medications. And so every time I get to reduce my medications, I reduce my expenses at CVS. Big win. So the next thing is I was tired of feeling like crap. I felt like crap all the time. I was tired all the time. I was grumpy a lot because my blood sugars were fluctuating all over the place. I was on a medication that was upsetting my stomach, and sometimes I had to run to the bathroom. It was super embarrassing. So that's another, like, I want to feel better. I don't want to feel like crap all the time. I don't want to be tired all the time. I don't want to be grumpy all the time. And I've already seen improvements in that. So as my blood sugar has become more leveled out, and I'm eating better, I feel better. Go figure. The doctors have been saying that since the beginning of time, like, eat better, feel better, exercise, feel better. And it really is making a difference. So another, really driving factor, I have several family members words are hard, who have type 2 diabetes. It runs in the family. And it's not because we're necessarily inactive or eat terribly. One of the members of the family who has it is a very active person. It runs in the family. I mean, my grandmother had it, my dad has it, my aunt has it, several cousins have it, several more distantly related people have it. So, this type 2 diabetes runs in the family. There's a genetic component to it, as well as inactivity and eating poorly. That is part of it, and I own the fact that I've eaten poorly for a good portion of my life, and I haven't been as active as I should have been for much of my life. So, over one of the earlier holidays this past year, I witnessed a family member having to use insulin, and continuing to eat poorly, and hearing about, a family member's, worsening numbers every time they went and got their blood drawn, so that was another factor. I also have an acquaintance who also has type 2 diabetes, who has gotten more and more and more sick over the years, to the point where he's now actively dying. And this is a wonderful person. This is a person who does an amazing amount of good in the world, but who has never taken care of himself, and also, after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, never made any changes. Continues now, even though he is dying, to eat poorly, or not eat poorly, eat the things that as a diabetic, you don't process well. And so, it's hard to see a friend be very, very sick. And it's even more difficult to see someone, feel bad all of the time. And I realized that, I'd had this diagnosis. I'd been diagnosed as pre-diabetic 10 years before. And then over COVID, things just got worse, and I was formally diagnosed as diabetic. And I realized I was on that path. I was on the path to continuing to feel terrible if I didn't make major changes in my life. Not only would I continue to feel terrible, but my health would continue to decline. And I wasn't far off from having to take insulin on either a daily basis or multiple times a day, or have to have dialysis, multiple times a week. And I just realized I was too young for that. I'm not even 50 yet. And it's like staring down the barrel of a gun in a way, like knowing that every time I put a French fry in my mouth, I'm slowly killing myself. And it's just my body does not handle carbohydrates well. And so I remember sitting down with my partner and just saying, like, I need to make some changes. And the first change I made was, going in and demanding to get off metformin, getting on a different medication that works better for my body, but also radically changing our diet. We don't eat strict keto, but I do eat a higher protein diet than I ever have in my life. And as someone who is of the late 80s and early 90s, that is my formative years, that is really difficult because we grew up thinking protein and fat were going to kill us, and that carbohydrates were the salvation of all diet things. And, it's not surprising we have so many diabetics in the world because not all of our bodies are made to process that. But I also made a choice outside of adding the protein shake in the morning to stop eating potatoes and rice, bread, and all of those delicious carbohydrate things that are full of salt and fat and deliciousness, and just they're 100% carbs and fat, which it's become hugely clear my body can't process that. Even with the medications, I can't process that. So here we are, it's 6 months later after I've made some of these choices, and I feel a lot better. I've lost a bunch of weight. And again, I keep saying this, weight loss is not the major factor for me. I'm pretty comfortable being a chubby person. And I'm not overly concerned with the weight loss. I just want to feel better. That's the big deal for me. So, so the cost, the expense of medications, and feel like I didn't want to feel like crap anymore. Also watching people I love go through type 2 and not make changes, or make changes and still feel like crap. I knew like those things are just the driving factors that are making it so that I don't want to live the way that I lived before, feeling like garbage all the time. So anyway, that's the discussion for the day for today's vlog. I hope you find it helpful, and maybe you could think about the things that are motivating you to make changes in your life. For me, it was I had to do a great deal of journaling, and if you're coming from my other channel, one of the first things I did was sit down with my journal and explore this. And it really helped kind of clarify some of my thinking and my thoughts around how I was feeling about type 2 diabetes. And it's a hard diagnosis because you either make changes or you don't. And it's difficult. It's not easy. It's very upsetting. So anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy seeing all of the numbers, like people have watched it, and the thumbs up are so meaningful for me. So I appreciate you for watching my vlog, and I will see you next time, and I will tell you if I was able to tolerate a fresh saddle on the bike or not. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.